What is going on, guys? Thank you for joining us. It is the 13th of April, and we are here for the Monday night show. It is myself and Ryan to start with. James should be joining us shortly, so let's get this started, shall we, Mr. Producer?
Let's go. I'm here.
I am thinking, because James, I know, didn't see the Manchester derby, we will save some. We're kind of going to mix the topics up. So if you're looking at the topics in the list, the summer transfers aren't going to be where we start with. We are starting with the Manchester derby. Now, it was an interesting game, right? I mean, City took an early lead. Aguero getting 2 goals on the day as well. But obviously United coming out to win 4-2, which I'm sure you, as a Red, are delighted with.
I was jumping around the house. So,
I can actually imagine it. But the question I think we need to ask is, why did United win? Or how? Which one do you want to explain first to me?
I think it's more we dominated the play. We played against what Man City put out. They had lazy players on the pitch like Yaya Toure. Didn't even know he was on the pitch at some points.
I think what I did notice, and it was pointed out today on the Monday night show on Sky Sports, still no title. I noticed they were talking about Wayne Rooney. I noticed during the game he was sitting up top. He wasn't running around as much as normal. And then they said he kept them centre-backs kind of pushed back instead of him chasing the ball all over the pitch. He only had 35 passes the whole game. And I think it was definitely effective, Ryan.
Yeah, because I think Man City, they're expecting Rooney to drop back and try and help the midfield. He's gone against that, and Manchester City have been caught out.
I mean, the situation, I think, at United is... it's interesting because you have the likes of Ashley Young, who not that long ago was getting booed by his own fans. Not all of yous. Obviously, some Man United fans obviously wouldn't boo their own players ever, but he was getting a lot of stick at a point. And now I think I am almost to the stage where I want to see Ashley Young wearing an England shirt. Because when you think of the likes of Andros Townsend getting in the England squad, and I think... Ashley Young at the minute, it deserves the recall.
Yeah, he does. I mean, I'll admit, last season in the summer, I wanted him out of the club. He wasn't good enough, but under Van Gaal, he's come in and proved me wrong. He deserves to be in the England team, but there'll always be critics. He could put on an England shirt and then end up playing shit and then end up back to his critical self again. But if he plays well for Man United, then I'm happy.
Well, he's a man who likes to go past people. So, I mean, if he's up against a defender who's having a good game, is it Ashley Young's fault, or is the defender just having a good game and he's tackling him often, which then is not making Ashley Young he's not going to look as good as if he's going to lose the ball a lot. But I think he's one of them players where if he's on form and he's skipping past people, he looks a good player. Definitely another one to step up is Fellaini. He's one of them players, isn't he, who throughout the years, even at Everton, he was used deep, he was used in the attacking sense, he was used as a striker at times. The situation, it's where's his best position, because I think behind the striker he's great for flicking, isn't he? And he's good for getting in the box and just knocking it down. But he's not as bad of a footballer as he looks. Because he's tall, he looks quite clumsy at times, doesn't he? But he's a fairly decent footballer as well, Ryan.
Yeah, I think Van Gaal's been using him to his strengths. Back in the defensive line, yeah, he's still a big player. He can get in the way, but that's what he's been doing up the top for Man United, getting in the way, getting the centre-backs out of the way, getting the ball crossed into him and he's heading it to him, like the goal. I don't know what Gael Clichy was doing. He just turned around, watched himself, Daniel just leaving, and he heads it in for the goal.
I think
I'm happy.
Yeah, exactly. If you're playing well, you're going to be happy. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of United's defence. I'll say that straight away. I mean, I think Blind is better in the defensive midfield position, but at the end of the day, when you have Carrick who playing as that deep line playmaker, He's always available for the ball. He's always wanting the ball. And the more he had the ball, the better United looked. I think Blind needs to kind of go somewhere else on the pitch because he can't do what Carrick does, or at the minute he can't. He does look like he's going to be a good player, Ryan. I'm sure you're excited the future of Blind, because obviously there's going to be a point where Carrick's legs just can't do it anymore.
Oh no, but he's Blind what he can. He's known to be a very versatile player. I think he can play all across the back and all across midfield.
Fantastic.
He can play left back, and he's been playing left back for the past 3 games. I can't pick a fault at all.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's a bad left back. I'm just saying I would prefer him in that midfield role. I think when he's at left back, he's not a left back. I like to see my left back bombing, overlapping the full back, for example. And when he's getting back, like chasing the attacker and putting in them tackles, where I think Blind is more of that. He's more of a professional. He just kind of does the job. He doesn't entertain it. He'll get the ball and just release it. Which I suppose at the minute, Ryan, is what you've probably wanted. You've just wanted United to settle down these last few months and just kind of put results together.
Yeah, and that's what happened. It's now six wins on the bounce. You can get 7, 8, 9 wins till the end of the season. You can't complain. If we can finish second, then that's a great season for United, considering from 7th to 2nd. I know history doesn't suggest that, but finish second with the team that we have and the criticism over the summer that we had of the team that we have now. Van Gaal's done a great job for my sense.
To be honest, I was thinking top 4 would be really impressive. I think I've seen a lot of people saying, obviously, Van Gaal spent the money. The players he's brought in have flopped, and he's now using David Moyes' players, and he's doing well with them. What would your reaction to that be?
Well, yeah, he has spent over 150 million, but Liverpool has spent over 120, and look at the players that they've brought and the position that they're in the table.
I think what I would say is at the start of the season, Van Gaal kept saying it would take some months for his philosophy, in quotes, to kick in, Ryan. And I think all throughout the season, I mean, I've been one of the biggest critics. But I just think recently, it, as you say, with the 6 on the bounce, it's definitely starting to become apparent that he's adapted. He's obviously looked at the formations and went, right, what I've wanted to be our first choice formation and our second choice formation isn't working. This formation has kind of come together. The players are working really well with this formation, so let's play with it. So he's adapted, but the players are still built in. They've kind of came together with his philosophy of. They were showing it even tonight again, where they were showing how high United are holding their defensive line to start with, and like so tight and compact. But then as soon as the ball's played, they're dropping off and they're not facing their own goal. They're still facing forward, and they're looking really impressive at the minute. And they are looking really well drilled, which I bet's really pleasing as a United fan to see.
Oh, it is. I mean, we started off at the season with this 3-5-2, 5-3-2 formation, whatever you want to call it. That didn't work at all. And then I think we tried something like 4-1-2-1-2. Now we're playing a 4-3-3, which kind of changes when Carrick drops deep into the defensive position. And then when we go forward, it turned into a different formation. But it's working. 3 up top is working fantastically. Sometimes turns into a 4 when Fellaini gets forward. 6 wins on the bounce. I don't think you can complain.
I think what I would say is the little magician that's in there. I think I thought the Di Maria signing was a great signing, and I think more in this formation, Ryan, he would actually fit in better. But I think he's just been knocked so much confidence-wise. I think Van Gaal's doing a good job at the minute, just bringing him on, just giving him that bit of time. So he's kind of celebrating with the players at the end of games type thing on the pitch. But Mata at the minute is just... I mean, this guy at Chelsea was outstanding. And we know he's not a defensive player. We know he's not going to track players back 30, 40 yards. But he is actually doing it more than he was. And he's so creative. He's so exciting to watch. And he gets in the spaces like David Silva for Man City, but in my opinion, better. I would much rather, and I think every single time I would take Mata over Silva. I don't know, as a United fan, I mean, you must be just hoping he doesn't go because the rumours are still floating that he's going to end up leaving.
I can't see him leaving. I mean, he's scoring and he's enjoying scoring. You can see he's enjoying himself at the club. He was enjoying himself when he's getting all the critic that he was having when he was playing under David Moyes. Even at the start of the season when he wasn't playing as good as he is now, but now the success is coming and he's being played in the position that he kind of wants to play in. Maybe he doesn't want to play out wide and he wants to play behind the striker, but he's getting the goals, he's creating the chances, and to me, he looks happy. I can't see him leaving.
I think he's been extremely lucky, as in the sense of playing in the out wide position at the minute. Going against what I said, how I like my fullbacks to be, but at the minute, because you don't have Raphael and Luke Shaw, who are obviously a lot more attacking minded, right? The fact that you've got Blind and who was it, a right back in
Valencia.
Valencia, sorry, yeah. Valencia obviously is no right back, and he is very attacking man. But the guy has such a big engine that if Mata floats over to the right wing or floats over to the left wing, depending on which wing he's at that moment playing him, because he does seem to have a lot of freedom, he doesn't look as out of position when the opposition are attacking because of how good defensively them fullbacks are. Where I think let's say he was on the right wing and he had Raphael behind him, I think he would look a lot more left open because Raphael can't obviously defend to save his life.
Van Gaal doesn't rate.
Sorry, Ryan, what did you say?
James has joined us.
Hey, James, thanks for coming on, pal.
Yeah, alright, guys.
Tough day.
Yeah, very long day. Long 3 days.
Very long 3 days. We decided to talk about the derby match first, as soon as you obviously didn't see it.
I caught the opening 10 minutes, that was all.
Okay. But yeah, Ryan, back to the one matter. What were you going to say just about the thought of if one of them's behind him?
Raphael's behind him. Raphael, yes, he bombs forward and bombs back, but he doesn't seem to do it as well as Antonio Valencia is. But I'm hearing that Louis van Gaal doesn't rate Raphael because of his injury proneness and his aggressiveness on the pitch. So whether he's going to be gone in the summer and Nathaniel Klein comes in, which is very strongly linked with Man United, remains to be seen.
What's from the inside of the club? What's the thoughts on Luke Shaw? Because it's quite an interesting one. How that's happening at the minute.
I think it's unfortunate that he's injured, and I'd be interested to see when he comes back. Is he going to drop Dele Blind and bring back in Luke Shaw straight away? I'm hoping he doesn't, because Blind has been playing quite well in that left back position, which isn't his position, his main position. He's quite versatile, but I reckon he'll turn out to be a fantastic left back, no doubt, because he's a young talent, young prospect. Whether he lives up to the 35 million price tag, which eventually it will reach with the performances and game time that he'll get, that remains to be seen. But I reckon he'll turn out quite well.
Now, I think if I'm reading Nicholas's comment correctly, Nicholas is saying that Van Gaal is not doing as good as David Moyes.
Now, some people have said that on Football Central and around the banter groups that are on Facebook for football, which is just outrageous. How can you say that Louis van Gaal isn't doing as good as Moyes? Moyes was down there, Man United, playing absolutely boring football, which we were at the start of the season under Van Gaal, but now he's got his tactics sorted, got the style of play that he wants Man United playing, 6 wins on the bounce, got the players that are critical now for performing. So Louis van Gaal's doing a lot better in my eyes.
I think the bottom line on that one is, it doesn't matter what statistics or records you look at. The fact is that Van Gaal has got Man United competing for second place, which is Moyes didn't.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll go to you, James, on this because it's not directly aimed at the game. More just in recent times, which is Manuel Pellegrini. What is he doing wrong, apart from 4-4-2, I guess? And I want to know, is he going to stay, do you think?
Not for me. I think he's gone. For me, I wouldn't even sack Mancini, but I guess with City, the club they want to be, the club they want to evolve and be on par with Real Madrid, Barcelona, even Chelsea, you'd say, PSG, they want instant success. And if you can't bring it, they'll get you out and bring somebody else in, and it doesn't matter at what cost.
Now, I know a lot of people, Ryan, have been posting. I know a couple of people on our Football Central group on Facebook, they posted saying did take Mancini back. I mean, my personal opinion, Mancini was just as shocking as Pellegrini. I don't know.
Yeah.
What did you say, James?
Never
go back. That's what I said.
Never go back. I'd never want him back.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's as good, Ryan.
No, well, he's not as good. He's in the league that suits him, the Italian league, which is, in my opinion, not one of the best leagues.
It's his bread and butter.
Yeah.
Never go back.
I think the situation is, it happens a lot, and where somebody leaves and he gets sacked and a couple of fans are unhappy, and then more fans think, you know what, I'm unhappy as well. And before you know it, they all want him back, and they seem to have forgot all them times they were complaining about him. Because everybody wanted him out, and then now they all like, oh, he was amazing, let's get him back. No, you didn't like him, deal with it.
Yeah. I know there's all strong rumours if Pellegrini does get sacked that Jurgen Klopp could join Diego Simeone, even though he's recently just signed a contract. That could just be to get more money for Atletico Madrid. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
I think the funniest thing, James, I heard was tonight on Sky Sports, when they actually turned round and said that the rumours that they are waiting for in 1 year's time, Guardiola will join. I mean, he's not good.
They've got to get out this fantasy. I think Guardiola's time in the Premier League will come, but when City keep talking, or even the big clubs in England, they keep talking when they think of a new manager, they keep talking Guardiola, Simeone. They've got plenty of time. They're very young in the management game. There's no rush for them to jump to England without exploring elsewhere first. Their time will come in the Premier League, but it's not yet for me.
I think Guardiola's been on record before and said that he wants to manage at Arsenal.
I think he's destined for Man United.
See, I think Man United could be possible again, because the reason I don't think he's going to go to Man City is, one, he doesn't need the money, so they can't buy him. And
he wants
two,
stability.
Yeah, that's it. He's not stupid enough to go to a club where he's just going to be sacked within 6 months if he doesn't win straight away. It's just Man City, Chelsea, not so much Liverpool, but recently they haven't been the best. I mean, when you go back a while, I mean, apart from, I mean, they just kind of, managers come and go every couple of years, where you look at Arsenal and you look at Man United, apart from the David Moyes issue, I mean, managers have been there for over a decade, so I can see him at Arsenal. I really can see him at Arsenal.
Sorry, my mum's listening, so hello, mum.
Hello, Ryan's mum. Just going to quickly jump down the side. Andrew Bryce said, evening, boys. He said, Paul, I have a question. Did you enjoy tonight? Andrew, go and have a look at how much money Liverpool have spent over the last couple of years, and if you couldn't beat Newcastle, there is something seriously wrong.
Newcastle haven't won at Anfield in 20 years. What were you expecting?
Newcastle can't beat themselves. We sell all of our players and don't buy anybody. We sell our manager, don't get a new manager. And then Liverpool fans are all dancing around because he beat us 2-0. Really?
We weren't dancing around last week when Man United beat you.
I'd be
come out of their box now.
Yeah, have that. Just quickly, Ryan, how did Coventry get on at the weekend?
At the weekend?
Did you go?
Oh yes, I did. They won 1-0.
Unbelievable. Did you say this, James? Ryan goes for a game, doesn't even remember the score.
That's how, well, the game. It was a right game, but someone fell asleep behind me, so you can see how interesting the game was at the start.
Brilliant. Well, as soon as James has arrived, he's obviously tired after a long day of work. We are now going to get his brain working. Are you ready, Mr. Transfer Wizard?
Oh, go on then.
We're going to talk about the summer transfer window, James. There's a lot of rumours flying around already. I know what you're thinking already, but yeah,
Same old, same old, same old.
they are. So I'm going to throw a couple of them out there, and then we'll talk a bit more in depth. But I'll go through them. I'll go through them all first.
Messi to PSG. Go on, it's got to be top.
No, it's not on our list. Our list are actually ones which could happen. So you have Lukaku to Atletico Madrid. Then you have. Hey, I said wait. Actually, James's replies are normally one word, so we can get them in. Chelsea is set to complete $4.7 million deal for Nathan. Not joking, I've not seen him.
They also want Kennedy as well, and it's just a part of the long list of youth players joining Chelsea, and half of them don't make it. Kennedy's really good, so he shouldn't join if he's not going to play.
Once we've done the summer transfer window, Ryan, we're going to throw in a topic, guys, which is something which was discussed on Football Central earlier, which is about financial fair play. Because I think that could be an interesting discussion, Ryan. Depay, Grande, I can't pronounce his name. Dortmund, that's it. And Hummels to Man United. Yep. I can see all them. Pogba and De Bruyne to Man City.
No.
De Bruyne, I can see. I can't see Pogba.
De Bruyne is not stupid enough to share. His time to come back to England, he'll know. He never got his chance at Chelsea, and he's enjoying his football at the moment instead of sitting about on the bench. He will not move, I will guarantee it.
Peter Cech to Inter Milan.
He will leave, but not to Inter Milan.
Tom Cleverley to Everton. I can see that. I could see him staying at Villa as well. Charlie Austin to Newcastle. I wish. Like we'll sign anybody. Sami Nasri, Yaya to James Milner to Inter Milan.
No.
I can see all three of them actually. Because Nasri's out of favour, Toure just useless, and James Milner James Milner's a strange one because Man City really should be trying their hardest to secure this guy in a contract, shouldn't they, James? Because he is such a hard-working player.
He's going to Liverpool.
He's not going to Liverpool, though.
Yes,
James had a long week, he's tired. He might come back to Newcastle, James.
Not in this lifetime.
No, he won't, will he? But, you brought something up there about players going to Chelsea. Now, there's a discussion which you obviously didn't see because you've been to work, James, on the group earlier. Ryan was talking about financial fair play and how it's affecting football. And I put across the point that I thought Chelsea are signing many, many players with no intention of playing them. They are just signing them for a cheap deal from their current club before moving them on to bigger clubs in Europe and making a profit on them, i.e. boosting their financial fair play. And you basically said the same thing by signing players who are never going to actually play for them.
Well, yeah, the best talent is English.
It's just straight. It's frustrating, I think. I brought up but Ryan, you mentioned, didn't you, about players?
Chelsea just won the youth league tonight.
They did, yeah, 3-2. Fantastic by them. But then it's like someone commented, how many of them are going to make it into the first team? That's the problem.
3 of them, and they'll all be long-term England internationals.
Yeah.
Ryan, you were talking about players joining clubs because of the brand and not because of the football.
Oh yeah, you've got Isaiah Brown, who you brought up yourself. He was at West Brom. Chelsea have come in. Are you gonna turn down Chelsea? They're a bigger club. They've recently just come up. They've got the money, and they could say, "Oh, we'll make you into a fantastic star. You'll turn into a great England star for the future." You're not going to turn it down. And I've heard that he is doing quite well for the youth team. I've not seen the youth got find. I'm going to have to find the highlights, but I've heard he's been doing quite well. But Chelsea are signing these players, and yeah, they are a good club, and they do have an excellent youth system. But then they're selling their players, which is affecting their financial fair play. Is it fair? In my opinion, no. But there's nothing in the financial fair play policies that says they can't buy these players and then sell them for profit.
Well, the coach James sounds like he's just taken off. Are you sat at the airport, James?
No.
No. Andrew says, Paul, who's your guest speaker? We don't have a guest speaker. We have Ryan and James who are on every single week.
There's usually a guest on, but there are no guests this week.
No guest. Nobody wanted to come on. Nicholas said, where will Subotic, Hummels and Royce go? Royce and Subotic won't move, but Hummels, I think, will end up at United. Andrew said he'd have Milner and Messi to Liverpool. Unless he's going on holiday, but he won't be going there to play years in Europe, and he won't be going there to move. Poor Liverpool fans.
Maybe he'll turn up to play a charity game.
Maybe. And they still get to see him. Unless he plays a Goodison. We'll jump through all the fixtures from the weekend, which was Swansea 1, Everton 1, Southampton 2, Hull 0, Sunderland 1, Crystal Palace 4, Tottenham 0, Aston Villa 1, West Brom 2, Leicester 3, West Ham 1, Stoke 1, Burnley 0, Arsenal 1, QPR 0, Chelsea 1, Man United 4, Man City 2. We'll just wait for James to get himself settled.
And this evening's game, you're not going to mention that, no?
This evening's game was Liverpool 2, Newcastle 0. It was shocking. Newcastle should have had a penalty. But apart from that, we were dreadful. Sissoko got himself sent off, and once again, that guy showed his lack of interest in playing for Newcastle. Because after he got sent off, he didn't care. He started walking before he even got shown the card and just looked like he just was happy to go off. Two games I want to pick out, James. The first one was Leicester beating West Brom 3-2. That's 7 goals in 2 games now, where Tony Pulis' side has conceded. Are West Brom falling back into trouble?
Did they ever really get out of it?
When he first come, didn't they? They started to put a couple of results together and pull themselves clear almost, but they are falling, I think. Will they go down? I think it's another matter.
No.
No, there's worse teams.
Yeah. No, it's not about who can win how many games. For me, it's about who can avoid defeat the most. I think even if you don't win your games, I think you're going to know that some of the teams below you are going to lose theirs also.
Yeah. And Andrew said penalty. Are you kidding? What? Ryan, did you see the game?
No, I was asleep.
The whole stadium knew it was a penalty. It was literally the only the referee didn't think it was a penalty. There's a game there I want to pick out, which was Tottenham 0, Aston Villa 1. I think it's 8 goals in 6 games for Benteke now. Tim Sherwood obviously going back to Tottenham again, 3 points as well. James, I think Aston Villa are looking like they're going to be safe, and I'm actually. I spoke to one of my friends who lives in Norway, is an Aston Villa supporter, and he is genuinely excited about the summer. He thinks if they can guarantee survival, Tim Sherwood will actually sign some attacking players, the likes of Scott Sinclair possibly signing permanently, for example.
I think that win was the secure for Villa. I think that's them safe for me. I'm not counting them in it anymore. I think it was there, and you're right. I think it's typical Villa. The last 5-6 games of the season is where they start to pull it out of the bag, and I think you're right. I think they stay up, they will spend money, Sherwood will get the money, and he needs to spend wisely and buy right players that will convince Benteke to stay.
The thing is, they don't even need to sign that many because they've got such a young squad. They've got some really good players like Grealish and then Lawton at right back. They have Hutton as well at right back, and 2 players who are decent players. They have all over the pitch some really good players. I just think they were playing far too defensive, James, because they were always sticking them 3 defensive midfielders. They were making sure Delph never attacked, for example, and now he's getting the freedom to push forward. I know my friend was constantly banging his head on the wall talking about it, just saying how defensive-minded they were. When now they've been able to open up, they look a different side, and I think they could be an exciting team to watch. They remind me of, not of the same class, but of a team that could turn into the same style as Swansea, James. Like a passing side.
Yeah, like a solid top 10 side.
Yeah, I just think they've just been unlucky. Just quickly on the side, it was Nicholas has said he thinks Hull, Leicester and QPR are going to go down. I'm with you, Nicholas. I genuinely think Burnley can get out of it. What about yourself, Ryan?
It's very close. I'm just looking at the table myself. Leicester are only on 31 games, 25 points. Burnley 32, 26. QPR 33 on 26. So it's very close. So I can't even make a prediction at the moment.
It's I mean, James, it's so close, but sorry, Ryan. Anyway, I'm going to push you. Come on, who's going down?
I think Burnley will get out. Leicester may get out. I'm going to put them to go down. QPR and with Hull, so I'm going to go with Nicholas as well.
I think it's going to be sad to see Hull go down. I think I think it's stonewall guaranteed if they go down, Steve Bruce will lose his job. I just think it's so tight though, isn't it? I think Leicester are down. Yes, they got a victory against West Brom, but they are going down. I think QPR are going down, especially if they are so impressed by people that when their manager walks on a pitch, they think his skills are back. Can someone tag James in that video on Football Central, please, so you can watch it afterwards? James, it's the funniest video. You'll never get them 44 seconds of your life back, let me promise you that.
I think just going back to the Hull matter, I think they will go down. If you look at their game that they played at the weekend, they were absolutely shocking. Tom Huddleston couldn't play a simple 5-yard pass. They were restricting themselves to long shots, which were just absolutely useless. Their play was awful. It looked championship level, so I think they need to go down to try and rebuild their football back up.
Yeah.
It didn't look good on Match of the Day.
But I just want to move over just quickly to the Norwegian Trippeligaen, which is now 2 games into the season. We are going to try to be a bit more diverse with the leagues, especially when we start coming up to the summer when the Premier League is obviously in all of England is on a break. We'll be talking a lot more about the likes of the MLS, the Norwegian leagues, for example, the Swedish leagues, all the leagues which run throughout the summer. And I just want to point out that Rosenborg have picked up 2 victories out of 2. They've started well, plus 11 goal difference, winning 6-0 over the weekend, which was an impressive victory away to Haugesund. Odd are up there as well. James knows Odd well, it seems he featured a goalkeeper in his recent videos. James, didn't you, on YouTube?
Yeah, my top 5 teenage goalkeepers, and I think he was number 3.
He was number 5 actually, James.
Okay.
You bumped him all the way down, but he was definitely on there.
Yeah.
My local top flight side, Vikings Stavanger, picked up a 3-1 victory over Tranfsfer. Tranfsfer have come up this year and they have lost both their games so far. There's a few teams on 1 point, but apart from that, there's nothing really to pick out. Molde have won 1, lost 1. So they haven't had an amazing start, but they beat Bøder Glimt at the weekend 3-1 away from home. So they've not doing too bad. We'll quickly move over to the MLS, Ryan. Just let you know that top of the Eastern Conference is DC United on 10 points. And top of the Western Conference is the Vancouver Whitecaps with 13 points. Bottom of the Western Conference are Portland Timbers, joined with Colorado on 6. And bottom, Ryan, of the Eastern Conference are Montreal on 2 points. Now, bear in mind, Ryan, Montreal are in the CONCACAF Champions League final at the end of this month, and yet they are bottom of the Eastern Conference. Is that a sign of a club which has taken one competition very seriously at the minute?
Well, I think we've had similar for the Europa League when Newcastle were in it. It affected their league status and they went down the league. It seems to me that's what's happening to Toronto at the moment. Whether once the CONCACAF finishes, they start picking up results and getting up that league table, remains to be seen. But we hope they can, because they are quite a good team. Maybe they're wanting to win that CONCACAF and get a trophy and then build from there.
Well, I mean, just a quick shout out to our friend FM Yank, also known as Colin. He was actually telling me that, in his opinion, Montreal are the worst team in the MLS at the minute, and last season included, which I was quite surprised by, especially considering the they're doing so well in the continental competition. And one club I want to pick out, which in my opinion is struggling, is New York City, James, and with the likes of David Villa. And Mix Drew, I can't pronounce his name even though he's Norwegian. And they've won one, lost two, drew two so far. They are sitting in 7th place in the Eastern Conference. A side who's obviously had to build themselves up ready for their opening season in the MLS, James, and it has not got off to a great start. And
Yeah.
do you think they're missing someone like Lampard just to help give the ball to Villa, basically?
Well, I think it's the first season's obviously going to be all about finding out if the players are up to it or the club is not up to it or getting into it, finding their way into the league. It's a new creation, and I think they should not expect too much this season. I think they should just sort of take it in their stride, really. And yes, Lampard would make a huge difference at a club like that with his assists to Villa and of course the goals. 20 goals he'll bring himself to a season.
Yeah. And just quickly before we move on from the MLS, LA Galaxy in the Western Conference are also sitting in 7th, and they are 5 points off top at the minute. Played 6, won 2, drew 2, lost 2. So again, are they missing that guy in the centre of midfield? They're missing the likes of Steven Gerrard coming in, giving the ball to Robbie Keane. It's going to be interesting to see if these two clubs are sitting in 7th and 7th respectively in both conferences, how that changes when them two big names come in, Ryan.
It will be. I mean, I've heard that someone thinks that Gerrard isn't going to do it in the MLS, but maybe an old player, but Gerrard will do it in the MLS. He is a fantastic player, even now at his age. He'll dominate.
The issue is, Ryan, is a lot of the American press are bringing up that they don't think he looks interested, and they are fearing that it's going to happen when he comes over. But obviously, like we discussed at the time when he got the sending off, it seems to have happened many times in the past when he's come off the bench in these big derby matches. He's ended up getting a red card.
Aye, but the proof is in the pudding. You can't predict what he's going to be like until he actually starts playing.
I think he's going to do well. I think he's going to be a class above. But what I would say is I've preached to yourself, Ryan, and you, James, that I am absolutely loving the MLS this year. I'm watching it each week. The games I miss, I'm straight on watching the highlights the day after on the MLS website. And it's just awesome. Well run football, and there's no messing around.
It's really undervalued, but this season I've been watching it quite a lot, watching the highlights like yourself, Paul. So anyone who is watching this, get out and watch the MLS as well.
Just wait to see the crowds that goes in when Lampard, not crowds, but the views on telly from outside America that it brings in next season. Gerrard and Lampard, it will increase so much.
Yeah. It's definitely worth watching. Like I say, we have a few of us who just sit talking as we're watching the games, as you know. It is good. Just quickly on the side, Mercy Football, thank you for listening, Pally. Just said, what are your thoughts on Yaya Toure in the Manchester Derby? I'm quite happy to drop back to the Manchester Derby topic. And Ryan, watching Yaya Toure, apart from watching him mark Fellaini and just kind of have a chat about how he's going to jump and stuff, what else did he really do?
I didn't even know he was on the pitch. I mentioned it earlier. There was I think I heard his name mentioned once, and that was about it. Trying to mark Fellaini, he just got outshot by Fellaini, who was critiqued at the start of the season, and he's made him look overrated. Yaya Toure, I reckon he's gone. Absolutely lazy player.
Yaya Toure can make himself look overrated. I think the only reason Yaya Toure has survived is the fact that he's got a cracking shot on him. He does absolutely nout all game and then just buries one. He's just saying there, what are our thoughts on the rumours of Martin Odegaard? If we're talking about the issues of Real Madrid, it's all depending on what is fact and what is not. If it's true that he is refusing to train with the B team, the reserve team, then obviously there's serious issues. He really shouldn't be doing that. It's really frustrating because I've not really seen much in Vega, and as you just said there, hello from Norway, so obviously you won't have seen much. There's not much coming out in the Norwegian press about all of the issues, so I'm quite unsure, and especially all the rumours about his dad, because from what I've heard, his dad's a nice bloke, and I've not really seen much said about it, Ryan.
I think it's just these British tabloids that will get on top of this player who's a rated player, and they'll want to make him look bad.
Well, I think from what I've heard,
it's
a Barcelona-based newspaper which has started it.
Trust me, when you're that age, you will not disrespect Zinedine Zidane.
No, and I think what's worse is the fact that they've come out with all this stuff about his dad, and obviously I live at the other side of Norway, so I don't exactly know the family, but from when they've been in the Norwegian press and stuff, his family's always come across as so down to earth. So the stuff which is coming out about what his dad's been demanding, I genuinely cannot believe is true. So I just think he's having a struggle at the minute. I mean, he's still a kid. He's moved to a different country. That is tough enough. I mean, I moved to Norway when I was 25, I think, and that was tough enough for myself. So I can imagine for him moving to Spain, it's not going to be simple just to turn up and play to the same level of football, Ryan.
I mean, the rumours started straight away. As soon as he signed, the pressure on it, he's on 80 grand a week. Absolute nonsense. Not a chance he's on 80 grand a week. He'd be lucky to be on 80 grand a week. He may reach it in the future if he turns out to be the talent that he's predicted to be. But right now, £500 a week, £1,000 a week, that's my prediction anyway.
Nicholas said Madrid should have signed him.
I don't like lazy players.
Oh, bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to sneeze. But Ryan, just quickly, what do you think is going to happen with Martin Odegaard in terms of Real Madrid? Is he going to end up coming out on loan? Because is the football playing for Castilla, even if you're trained by some top professionals like Zidane, is he going to be better off playing back in Norway, for example, with the league campaign just started, or maybe in Scotland like he's been linked with, for example?
Well, yeah, he has been linked with Celtic, I've been hearing, but is that the style of football that he wants to be playing in the Scottish League? No respect to the Scottish League, but is it the style of football that he wants to be trained in if he's going to be playing at Real Madrid in the future? There's a big difference between the Spanish League and the Scottish League. If it was me, I would go to someone like Porto, maybe join Ryan Gould if he's going to join the first team next year, maybe.
I was just about to say, James, what do you think about him going to maybe Sporting on loan?
For me, get him to Scotland. Honestly, I believe it. I think under Ronnie Delia at Celtic, who obviously had him at his previous job, 1, he will look after them, 2, he will play with them, playing, and 3, if you can play on the rough, tough pitches in Scotland on a dark Tuesday night, you can do it in Spain in the sunshine on a smooth pitch.
Yeah, but the question is, James,
learn the rough way, and you can do it in a good way.
The question is, can you do it on a cold, wet night in Stoke? Let's be honest, James wants him to go to Scotland just so he can go and watch him play. He doesn't care about the development, he just wants them to go and see him live.
I'm telling you honestly, if he joins Scotland, or he joined any team in Scotland, obviously it would be Celtic, but I guarantee no more than 10% of Celtic fans will even see him play.
I actually think, like you said, James, going where Ronnie Deila is, his former manager, it's definitely going to be a big help.
You put an arm around him and say, "You're good enough, you can do it. I'll give you the stage to show it." And of course, there's a chance Celtic every year can get to the group stage of the Champions League.
I mean, I know that most football saying he hopes he goes back to Strømsgodset, and I would like that to happen, because I think sending him basically to live back at home, he's going to be going back home and playing football again. But then, is it going to? I do worry if it's going to stun his development, because most football, you no doubt know, if you're living in Norway, that he was a class above the league last season. So is another year in the division going to improve him anymore, Ryan, if he's already a class above?
Well, it's just sticks and stones. You never know. You don't know until he tries. He's a young player, so whether going back home is going to make him more happy and help him develop, down to Real Madrid to decide.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the end of tonight's show. Been a good show. I'd like to thank people who've tuned in and listened. People who listen back on YouTube, really appreciate you listening. Thanks for James coming on after a busy day. Ryan, as always, and good luck with your university work, Ryan, this week. And we will see everybody on Thursday for the weekly FM show. Goodbye.
Bye.